Ready to go.
You and me, a dream team.
Very good choice, my friend. Let's go for the title defense.
After the debut in Moscow 2 weeks ago, it's now time for the 7th round of the DTM 2013. So welcome to the Nürburgring, one of the most traditional racetracks in the calendar of the DTM. With me, it's the reigning champion, it's Bruno Spengler. Bruno, great to see you after this long journey to Moscow and back. So actually we have two BMW on the front row, but it's not you. What's your strategy today from P10?
Well, I think from P10 I have to attack. You know, I have no choice. I will attack as much as I can, try to win as many positions as possible in the first lap, and then see from there what's possible. I think the weather will be interesting today, so I'm looking forward to the race.
Actually, there are already some raindrops, so you're hoping for rain?
Well, I'm hoping for something definitely which is not completely clear. You know, we need a bit of that to come up front, so we'll see what we can do. I'm ready to give my best, and the team also, so try to push as hard as I can.
So enjoy the race, and now it's time for Andrew and Dave. It's your turn.
Yeah, thanks very much. And the national anthem's being sung here, but we're going to check out the animation of this Nürburgring racetrack, and we are on the sprint version of the Grand Prix track, the 11-turn version, 4 to the left, 7 to the right. And off we go, and perhaps the most difficult part of the whole racetrack is the dive down into this tight hairpin bend right at the end of the straight. A little bit bumpy down there, right down to first gear, and then it goes to the left after that, and then a tighter left-hand bend, but still accelerating here, and then sweeping then to the right with the corner taken at about 127 kilometers an hour. That's the fastest corner on the racetrack. Then down again to another very tight corner. Pretty low grip this racetrack. We are not sure where the DRS will be deployed because it depends on the wind direction. See the big Mercedes-Benz grandstand behind. Here we are. This next corner, very quick indeed. Virtually flat out through there, and then down into the tricky chicane where we have seen quite a lot of mistakes in some of the support events. And climbing uphill to another right-hander to go onto the start-finish line, which is where I suspect they'll use the DRS, and then past the start-finish line, and that's a lap. And just check out the vital statistics here: 3.6 kilometers, 49 laps. So we go down this with Mike Rockenfeld.
I'm here together with the championship leader, Mike Rockenfeller. Mike, thanks for stopping by.
No problem, nice to be here.
So let's talk about the qualifying yesterday. Actually, for sure you came with a lot of tailwind here to the Eifel, your home round. You had a second victory at Moscow, which was a wire-to-wire win, again like at Brands Hatch. So what went wrong during the qualifying yesterday?
Well, you know, DTM is a tough sport. When you miss a little bit, you can't do well, and it was the case for us. I mean, we tried our best, home race. Miguel, my teammate, did a really good job starting from P3, so that's the big hope for Phoenix today in the race. But yeah, I'm you know, looking forward. We had qualifications this year where I was more in the back, and still we went to the front and had a good race, got a lot of points, and that's the aim always. So so far I'm still positive, and I hope we can do well in the race.
You already mentioned it because you had it already several times at the Red Bull Ring, at Nürburgring, that you had to start from the back. So your race pace was quite good there. So the good news, Bruno Spengler is starting next to you from P10.
For sure, it's nice that he's not too far in the front on the start. We will see. Race pace is the key factor for us. Good strategy is important, and 2 good pit stops like every other race, and then we will see what happens. I try my best. I try to push hard, and I hope to score points.
But it's all about the unpredictable weather here at the Nürburgring, huh?
I mean, you never know here. It can be sunny, it can be raining. It's unpredictable. This we know for sure. And this is also a key factor in the race. I mean, everybody has the same problems or to deal with it. And I hope we can make the best out of it.
Okay, I wish you good luck. And now it's race time. Have fun.
Certainly is. Well, Rocky, the only man with 2 wins this season. Here, Dave Richardson is the grid. Take us through it.
Augusto Farfus then, pole position alongside him. Great qualifying from Marco Wittmann at the front row of the grid. To row 2 then, and as Rocky mentioned, Miguel Molina then P3. Edo Mortara alongside P4. Then we see Gary Paffett starting grid 5. Alongside him is Daniel Juncadella. Then to the steel liveried car of Robert Wickens and Christian Vittoris, then P7 and 8. Matthias Ekström P9 and Bruno Spengler alongside in P10. There we see the man that we've just been hearing from, Mike Rockenfeller, P11, with Jamie Green alongside him, P12. We continue our look through the grid, and Timo Glock and Adrian Tombe then are on the next row. Heading towards the back end of the grid, Pascal Wehrlein and Joey Hand, P15 and 16. Then we see Felipe Albuquerque and Timo Scheider. Dirk Werner and Martin Tomczyk. And then the final row of the grid is Roberto Meri and Andy Prio. Eve right now has our pole-sitting driver.
It's Augusto Farfus, Gustl, the second time this season that BMW secured the front row, and it's your personal 3rd pole position. So what about the view? And I don't mean the grid girl.
No, it's always nice to be in pole, of course. Saturday is a difficult day with the single free practice. But we did a good setup, we managed very well. So this pole position means a lot, even though looking to DTM race, the strategy is crucial. So we have to hope to get a good start, a good strategy, a good race pace, and try to fight for a good result.
Is there any agreement with Marco Wittmann next to you for the first turn?
Yeah, I think we both will want to get a clean start and do our race. We are here to try to squeeze to get the maximum out for BMW. So we have to push as hard as we can, because our competitors are just behind and they're not playing. So we really have to push, and I'm sure we will.
All the best for you. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much. Spengler just getting strapped in. A lot of work to do here today. It always goes well at the Nürburgring. He's won here 3 times in the past, but an unusual looking grid with at the front. Farfus, well, we expect him to be near the front, but Wittmann, but then Molina and Matara have both been having terrible seasons, to be frank. And Molina, very much the local man. He lives here in the summer, although of course he's from Lorette de Mar. There's Matthias Ekström, still deciding on tyres here. I was out in the paddock about 10 minutes ago, Dave, and it was the odd spot of rain, but then it didn't come to anything.
No, you're absolutely right. I felt exactly the same. The odd drop, but it didn't come to anything. But looking overhead from our commentary booth, right on the start-finish straight, there's plenty of cloud in the sky. So it is a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a grey day. It's just 17.6 is the temperature. Track temperature is 21. As we take a look at Robert Wickens, who of course had that great race at Nürburgring. But everything being prepared and getting ready for the start here at the Nürburgring. So we look down on this track with all its history, although this of course is the modern version. You see quite a mixture of ideas on who is on the options and who is on the standard tyres. I thought I saw a list that had Farfus running on the standards, and it says there he is on the option, so that is something we'll need to check out. As they said in the interviews, lots of different strategies will be played out here to see what happens. At Moscow it got quite confusing because had people who had made both their stops and others hadn't made any at all.
Oh, really?
And you know, you have to watch out for that sort of thing and try and calculate how far they are behind. And I think the vector here is about 25 seconds stop to go. You know, that's the time you lose on a lap when you've made a pit stop. I need to check that out exactly, and when we take the first couple of pit stops we can work that out, but it could become very important. Bernd Schneider then, so much success here and in the DTM, the most winning driver ever in the series, and still winning races, driving the Gullwing SLS Mercedes-Benz. Here is the best Mercedes, Gary Paffett down there, and Eve is with the team boss Toto Wolff.
Exactly. Hi, Toto. Good to see you again. I'm here together in front of Gary Paffett, the best placed Mercedes. So actually 4 Mercedes in the top 8. I think you would have preferred 4 Mercedes in the top 4, you said in the press conference yesterday.
Yeah, obviously, if you can choose to have 4 in the top 4, 4 in the top 8, you'd rather take the top 4. But it's a solid team result. I think we're in a pretty good position for the race. It's getting quite dark now in terms of clouds and rain, so let's see.
What's your weather forecast? There are already some raindrops. I can feel them.
You know, I'm not a real Eiffel expert, but I think anything goes in the Eiffel. It can rain and then 10 minutes later it's hot again. So at the moment it looks a bit dark.
A lot dark, I would say. But you have a lot of support from the fans at the Mercedes Tribune. So all the best for you, and it's back to you guys. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm being told the crowd is some 86,000. That's a decent number. And I have just clarified the fact that Farfus is starting on the option. So the caption was right. Here is Marco Wittmann then. And a lovely run round the car with the Ice Watch colours. Can't miss that one. And Wittmann, the reserve driver last year for BMW, getting the full season this year. And big news coming from BMW this very morning. We will not see any M3s racing next year in this championship. They're going to the new M4 body shape. So they announced that this morning. And also interestingly, we saw some images yesterday of how the Japanese DTM, if you will, cars, obviously the Super GT coming together with the DTM chassis. They've already built some cars and saw a picture of those. But here is the championship at the moment. Rockenfeller on 94 points, Spengler on the 67. It's a sizable lead for Rocky. Bit of damage limitation today, I would have thought. Gary Paffett on 57, Vittorius on 56, Farfus on 48 and Wickens on 45. Remember, he didn't get the full points at the Nürburgring after the disqualification of Ekstrom for the water bottle incident. So there you see the track, and you just see a little bit then briefly of the old Nordschleife circuit. Bruno Spengler, saw him in the BMW hospitality just about 40 minutes ago. He was looking remarkably relaxed, considering there's a big race coming up, and of course this championship, you know, getting really to the sharp end now. If Spengler's going to retain his title, he needs a great result here, and he needs Rockenfeller from his not very good grid position to falter. But Spengler not with a brilliant grid position either, so it's going to be an explosive race, I should think. I wonder what's going to happen down in that first corner, Dave. You know, it's so tight down there.
Yes, it is.
I think we could see a bit of flying carbon fibre. Here then is Rockenfeller's car, and lights flashing already, and as Toto Wolff said, it's pretty dark overhead. Final words, doors are slammed, driver just now getting into the zone. And just to remind you, it's Farfus on the pole, the man who started the season with a win at Hockenheim. Wittmann alongside him, Molina and Matara, the two Mercs of Paffett, who's still in the championship hunt. Needs a good result here, though, to keep that alive. And Juncadella, the standout rookie of the season. And then Rob Wickens, the Canadian, and Vittorius. So 4 Mercs together, and then Ekstrom and Spengler, Rockenfeller and Green. And the BMW boss there, getting ready. Always puts a positive spin on things, of course. And there is the boss of AMG, Gerhard Unger, as they head off on this warm-up lap. And of course everybody is on the slicks, but there's plenty of wet weather tyres waiting. And a roar of V8 engines. Just looking at some of the stats the other day, they always say these cars give about 470 horsepower, but I saw in some BMW publicity material they're claiming 500. So they're purebred racing engines. They're not based on any stock block. They are pure racing engines from all three manufacturers. Say very quietly that the Audi engines are prepared in the UK. And there the grid, and you see first three qualifiers on the options, and then Mortara and Paffett. Remember that here at the DTM, the options only come into play in the race. They have not ever run around this circuit on the options, and they really don't know how they'll perform. They didn't degrade at all at Moscow. They went a very long way. Here it might not be the same, and look at the spots of water on that windscreen. It's just starting to precipitate here at the Nürburgring. And as we said, we're in the Eiffel Mountains, and the weather's so changeable here. It always has been. It always will be. Lap record 1:24.372, Spengler in 2010.
And look at the brollies going up with the 80-odd thousand crowd that are here, Andrew. That reinforcing the fact that the spots of rain are beginning to come down, and weather could be such a factor in this race, no question about it. Something we've not done is perhaps salute Marco Wittmann. What a fantastic qualifying from Marco Wittmann, Andrew.
Absolutely great. Now, if you're a team manager, you say, what's the worst thing that can happen with the weather? It starts to rain on the warm-up lap. But it's just the odd little spot of rain at the moment.
Certainly not pouring down, is it?
It's not pouring down. They'll start on these slicks. Well, look at that Mercedes grandstand there, absolutely packed. As you said, almost 90,000 people here today, and they've had a very busy program of racing, more to come even after this. And now it's, look at this, all of a sudden it's coming down, and I wonder if they'll delay the start. I suspect they might. Well, there's Jens Marquardt. Audi Brains Trust. Mercedes ditto. Everybody lining up. It's not...
It's stopped again now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly not pouring outside our box here on the... by the start-finish line, but that was another bit of the track. Lights are going on, they will start. It's 4 lights, it's 5. It's dropped the clutch, and off they go, and a very, very good start from Farfus. Anybody bogging down there? Wittmann into second. Hold your breath into the hairpin. Cars out and spinning, and Rocky is one of them. Oh no, he's got work to do then. I think Paffett is up to third place on another. Is that extra green, and there's cars off everywhere in these slippery conditions. And
well, we knew the weather could be a factor.
Well, there's Mortara off.
So the cars are literally
going again, and Joey Hand is beached. Joey Hand is stuck there. Farfus, Wittmann, so tricky, and Gary's dropping back, look, must have had a moment. And Molina is going, Molina's in third place. This is where these racing drivers earn their money.
Safety car, Andrew, safety car.
Safety car deployed. So Rocky really got going again.
Yes.
We'll see all that in replay. Here is the RS5 going out, lights flashing and waiting for the cars to come. You see the water on our lens here, and different parts of the circuit, the intensity of the rain is quite different. And then a hand out of the car and pointing, disaster for the Californian. Just look at the body language, he walks away. It's Prio, it's come up 3, 4, 5, well, quite a lot of places Prio, look. And the rain coming down, and we'll come diving in a minute, I suppose, once the safety car comes back in for the wets. Let's see two from the front row of the grid. First and second, Farfus, Wittmann, Molina, Paffett. Tambe must have made an incredible start, Dave. Look at that, Tambe up to 5th and Wicken 6th, Juncadella. Glock has made progress as well, Tomczyk. And the hand car being removed.
Well, we always knew the weather could play a part in this, Andrew, and it was the worst nightmare. Here's the replay.
All bunched up like that, Mortara on the inside. And Mortara gets hit, but he still keeps going. It was a bit of a pinball effort. But there, Hand and Rockenfeller going off together.
It looked to me, I was just watching that Rocky got a bit of a bump from Prio going into that turn one. So we'll see it again in a moment.
Here's what Ekstrom saw. Well, and Ekstrom gets turned around. Ekstrom definitely got bumped in that. There's Hand. Climbs his way over the Armco and we head off to the airport and home to California. We've got a month until the next race. And Mortara got quite a hit, didn't he, there? So Mortara is still going down in 21st. So Hand, after all that, Hand is the only one that's actually out. What sort of progress is Spengler making all that? Up to 10th place. Well, not much progress in effect. See it again.
Yeah, just have a look at this, Andrew. I just think Rocky gets...
Yeah, Rocky, green and yellow, Brazilian colours car.
See, there's Prio coming down there. Got quite a charge on us, Andy, to be fair to him. And then...
no, we didn't see it. I'm sure Prio made a good start for sure.
Prio really made it.
Green away slowly.
And this... And there's Prio. Oh, no.
No, he was nowhere near him.
No.
Nowhere near him. I think maybe it was Hand.
No.
And there's Tara and Spengler, you see, was getting stuck in there with Montara, wasn't he? That Spengler was... Spengler said he was going to be aggressive at the start. No doubt about that. Rocky's coming in now, and the wets will go on. And of course, at this moment, it stops raining. Rockenfeller Championship leader, only man to have won 2 races this season. Got enough points in store to still lead the championship. And he immediately doesn't feel the grip very well into there. Of course, he's got himself onto the wets.
Looking through the window, Andrew, it's still coming down.
Particularly behind the paddock. Yeah, it's Spengler. Now here is Spengler's view. Said he was going to be aggressive. Look at that great start from the French-Canadian. And he goes to the inside. There he is right in front of him. Is the black Audi gives Edo a bit of a punt. And then we go away from that shot as we go back to live. Safety car in this lap. Here it comes. And we'll be off racing again. I think we might get some fireworks right after the restart. Molina doing his best job of the season. Have an awful season, Molina. Hasn't scored any points yet. Still water on our lens. A bit of a snake as they put the power on. Look at Paffett there. Paffett with Tombe right behind him. And you've got to get your braking just right here, and it's downhill. It's pretty unsighted into the apex of that corner. And Tombe goes ahead of Paffett, but Paffett's got the inside line, but it could be good enough to get Tombe into a firm 4th place, and Wickens is just behind Gary Paffett. And Whitman putting a bit of pressure on the snaking rear end of the Brazilian's motor car. So Glock is also making great progress, the yellow Deutsche Post car. And Prio has come from the back to halfway up the field, and here's Rockenfeller with Timo Scheider.
So on board with Rockenfeller now.
We couldn't see that clearly, Dave, if Rocky did put on
the
wets. I have to assume that he did. Not sure if Eve, if she's hearing us, might go and find out. And we are told that Rocky is definitely on the rain tyres.
Well, now this is where Rocky really needs to get going, doesn't he?
Yeah, they'll quickly see the times he's doing. I can see on the screen his pace on these wet weather tyres compared with the slicks, and they'll all be coming in a moment.
So from a strategic point of view, maybe Rockefeller did the right thing, Andrew, because, well, we'll see if there's a big dive into the pit lane now, because they are tiptoeing round, aren't they?
Yeah. Lots of Mercs together. Well, decided... let's just see what happens down here at the chicane area. Farfus and Whitman and Molina and Tambe. Well, they decide to stay out.
So there's Rocky then, down into
the hairpin, and no team should know the weather conditions better than Phoenix Racing, because they're based here at the circuit. Paffett, the only one on the regular rubber amongst the front runners. And Gary Paffett just going backwards at the moment. Look at that. Got about 3 people gone by and just hasn't got the confidence in the car at the moment with a grip, and it's very wet there.
Now Farfus is really under pressure from Whitman.
Yeah.
Marco Whitman really challenging now.
So Ekstrom is down in 14th place. Audi's other usually star man.
So Rocky then the inside of Andy Prio now. And shod with those wet weather tyres. Now, once again, we approach the entrance to the pit lane. We've got pit crew standing by. Yeah, Farfus is coming in. Whitman is staying out.
But Tambe in, but difficult to see with all the rain on the lens.
Now, all of a sudden,
yeah.
Big gaggle, and Rocky nearly getting called out there by Gary Paffett. They were very, very close. Paffett wanted to go into the pit lane, and Rocky was on the inside.
This has really played into Rocky's hands, hasn't it?
Yep.
Great call by Phoenix. And you see the wet weather tyres going on. Great pit stop by Farfus crew. Bart's team. Paffett coming in. Paffett coming in is Gadella going out. Tomczyk going out. It's not very good at the moment for Paffett. Werner going through and staying out. Well, the rain's turned this race on its head. Whitman in the lead at the moment from Molina. Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Whitman has, well, he took the decision to stay out, and it was the wrong one. He might be able to get it out of there. He might be able to salvage something from this situation. Let's see what happened. Here he is. Carries much too much speed onto the grass, into the barrier, fortunately lightly. So inexperience there from Whitman. Meanwhile, Miguel Molina leads this race, the man with no points in the championship, and he pits now.
And Rocky now.
And Wickens pits.
Well,
Rocky is in the lead.
What about that? What a turn up.
Yep.
And just as we see Rocky go past, that Spengler going in, isn't it?
Well, it's the uncertainty of motor racing that makes it such a spectacular sport. There's Spengler in. And now Ekstrom. I mean, just early days yet. Could have more showers that can catch people out, could start to dry shower again. Anything could happen yet. But let's see how it settles down after this. And see Wickens accelerating out.
So on lap 6 of 49, how the shape of this race in the early stages has really been changed by the weather. Mike Rockenfeller took that early call to put wets on and now leads this race. We're watching Gary Paffett here.
I see on the left-hand side of the screen, it doesn't have a red spot for Rocky's pit stop for some reason. So, you know, I'm thinking that the pit window wasn't open when he came in.
Yeah,
it was very early, and maybe sometimes they claim they had to because they've got a puncture or something. But we're going to see what's going to happen to Rocky now, because I'm sure that is correct, and we're hearing it from our producer. Thanks very much.
So effectively, that means that Rocky's still got 2 more pit stops to do, doesn't it? As opposed to most of the others that will only have to undertake 1. Of course, that could play advantageously, depending on the conditions, how it changes. Yeah. Meantime, he is leading this race, and Tombe is P2.
Rain dripping down our lens. Mike Rockenfeller certainly leading on the road anyway, and Adrian Tombe in second place at the moment. That car's absolutely all over the racetrack. Farfus, he's looking good, you see, in third, and Molina and Wickens. And look at the spray now as the rain comes down. And the Rockenfeller to Tombe gap is 17 seconds. Almost make another stop.
I was going to say, that's almost a pit stop, isn't it?
Yeah, and he could come out and probably be 8th or 9th. Well, look, 3 abreast there. Timo Scheider in the middle of all that. There's Gary Paffett. There's Timo Scheider getting a bit of a wobble on. Spengler with Glock, and Timo Scheider goes flying. What an appalling season he's having. And Timo Scheider clattered against the barrier there. That kind of done the car any good at all. Down there in the short cut, which makes this into the club circuit. And, well, Timo Scheider, I think, being assisted there, don't you, Dave?
Yeah, for sure. And there you can... there you can see it from our overhead cameras. He pirouettes then on the grass.
Yeah, and it was Albuquerque that gave him the shove. Look, there's Albuquerque going through. Well, did he hit the barrier? There is Rocky then, making his early pit stop outside the window. So he's still got to do 2 more. And the difference between him and Tombe seesawing. Adrian Tombe only 14th in the championship.
And he just sets the fastest lap at 1:37.112 in these conditions, which is significantly quicker than Rocky's last lap.
Yep. Yeah, it looks as if it's crabbing, that car.
That is coming down the pit lane sideways, isn't it?
And there's Prio in the Crown Plaza car, getting stuck in right behind Gary Paffett. Revigorated Prio in these conditions.
Gary seems to be struggling more than anybody out there, Andrew.
Yeah, he does. Prio just gone by him. Paffett with Pascal Wehrlein behind him. Oh, look at the damage there to Spengler's car. You just see the jack. The automatic jacking system is revealed, but I'm not sure that'll hurt the car too much, but they're probably going to have to rip that bit of carbon off. Glock going a little bit wide. So, well, it's all been happening. Let's just recap. There's Rockenfeller in the lead, but still has to make 2 pit stops because he came in too early. Then it's Tarnbay and Farfus, Molina, Wickens, Verline, Spengler, Tomczyk and Glock. Then Ekstrom in 10th. And anything can happen yet in these early stages. Rocky is the fastest man out there, so he's pulling away from Tarnbay. Lena still putting in some very good times. Timo Scheider and Joey Hand already retirements out of this 7th round of the DTM. There's Wickens. Martin Tomczyk, who's had an awful season, having a bit of a better race today in 8th place.
Just looking at Gary Paffett's lap times, Andrew, and looking at our tyre graphics on the left-hand side of the screen here. We've seen Paffett come in.
Well, he's shown,
anyway, he's not put wets on.
There is a possibility. There is a possibility.
Because his lap time is 1:42.975.
And did you see that Whitman, despite the brush with the barrier, is still going?
Yeah, P17.
17th.
So
Paffett is right down there in 19th. He's got to have a problem, and it could well be that tyre choice.
Well, as I said, he seemingly with all his experience seemed to be struggling with the conditions more than any, which would indicate perhaps that his tyre choice wasn't the one that we thought it was going to be.
Yeah. There's Tomczyk facing Werner.
On board with Ekstrom then. Following the all-yellow Timo Glock BMW. Ekstrom with Junkadella right on his tail.
Rocky has just put in a very quick lap, Dave. Fastest lap of the race. Track must be starting to dry off again, although we've still got spots on our lens. Because we've got quite a stiff breeze here.
Yep. Well, that would certainly help the track drying process, wouldn't it? There is Mike Rockenfeller.
And now we can go down and hear from Timo Scheider about his terrible season and this disaster.
Timo, that's really a big disaster for your home round. I think you were nearly hit from everyone. I've seen Philippe Albuquerque, I've seen Jamie Green. There was no chance to avoid this contact.
Well, it started already quite tricky in the first lap. I got hit by Andy Priot, so he spun me around, so I was more or less last already after the first lap. Then we catch back with a safety car, of course, but then we had the pit stop with the rain tires. We had a good performance. My engineer informed me we are doing the second or fastest lap at this time, and I felt quite comfortable, and I was attacking the Mercedes in front, and suddenly I got a hit from Felipe from the back out of the Mercedes arena, and got a bigger one from Jamie then in the end, but I need to check the TV pictures because we destroyed the rear suspension, so we had to stop the race then.
So typical weather and race conditions here at the Nürburgring, isn't it?
Well, I was looking forward to a crazy race, to be honest, coming from P18, but that was my conditions, I have to say. But being back in the garage again without points and the destroyed car is really frustrating.
Hopefully next time it's getting better for you. Thank you very much, Timo. Back to you guys.
Yeah, indeed. Yes, the former double champion on board with Ekstrom. Wickens pretty quick out there at the moment.
And whilst we were hearing from Scheider then, Junkadella getting past Ekstrom. And now beginning to reel in Timo Glock. So Rockenfeller, Tombe, Farfus, Molina, Wickens, the top five. Still plenty of spray being chucked up, as we can see here from the windscreen of Matthias Ekstrom's car. And there's Junkadella on Timo Glock, and there's contact, and Glock is round!
Glock is round! So get away with no damage to the car, but Glock drops back some places. See what happens. Cadella, that's a bit of a short oval tap, wasn't it, Dave?
It was, rather. I don't think you can put any blame on Glock there at all.
If you like, a bit of a NASCAR tap, just in the right place to spin him round.
And there we can see it from another angle. Maybe Glock did come across him a bit.
Yeah,
but
I think he did, actually.
Yeah. Here we can see it again. I'm not sure now, seeing it from that angle, but well, the result was Glock having to do a donut to get back on.
Yeah, and the signal already flashed up from the race control at number 17, and that is, of course, Cadella. He is under investigation. By the way, DRS is disabled at the moment because of the weather conditions. There's Eki in the Red Bull car with the red markings. Here is Rockenfeller, who continues to pull away from the field. In fact, he's put 20 seconds. Look at that. 3 seconds in 3 laps over Adrian Tambay.
Just as, Andrew, I was going to say, the way it looks a little bit brighter out there. I mean, you know, he is in a great position, isn't he, with that margin he has of some 20 seconds.
Yeah.
What were you saying, the vector time for a pit stop, 23?
Might be a bit more than that, but let's see what happens.
There is Tambay.
The Audi Ultra colours. There's Farfus running in third. A lot of purple going on the screen at the moment, which tells me that it really is drying out at the moment. A lot of green for PBs, personal bests. Drive-through penalty for Cadella. Drop him from that 9th spot, on board with Christian Vittoris. And Paffett still struggling, doing the 140 lap times, dropping 5 seconds a lap on Rocky. Must be that. Sure, they were right about that tyre decision.
So Vittoris then. Ow!
Well, that was all a bit dodgy, wasn't it?
Well, that's the second time we've seen that. It was Rocky being called out by that with Paffett much earlier on in the race.
So the Samsung car of Werner comes in and he's making a tyre change. Another one that we think stayed out on the slicks is Roberto Merri. He's dead last at 20th at the moment. So Daya with Whitman right behind him. Whitman, who had that spin and little brush with the barrier. Here's Rockenfeller. And that lap, second a lap quicker than Tambay. Just keep this pace up. Rocky can really get a nice advantage here. Look, there's Tambay still coming down the hill. Farfus after him. And then Molina, and then Wickens and Spengler.
Well, from a strategic decision, that was bang on, wasn't it? Or it would appear so at this stage.
Remember, Rocky spun round at the first corner. I think that would be a disaster. He took that decision to bring him in before the window opened. He's just got to make 2 more pit stops. But he's now got enough gap. As again he takes another second out. He's second quicker than Tambay at the moment, who's in second place. Farfus is catching Tambay though. Spengler in 6th place. This is at least keeping his championship hopes alive. Albuquerque, who's got away with spinning round Timo Scheider.
On board with Gary Paffett, who's way down the order, P19, Andrew.
Yeah. Here he comes to just interesting to see the rubber that comes off here. Might be able to spot what he was on. The team makes that call in a split second. Try to outguess everybody else, and sometimes it's inspired. If you get it right, it's inspired.
Yeah, of course.
If you don't, it's a disaster. Look. Can you see that, Dave? It was so quick. I mean, definitely the wets went on, but I couldn't see what came off. And I'm pretty sure you read that right, and he stayed on the side. Interested to see what lap times he does now. As he comes out behind Rockenfeller, but a complete lap behind him. So, disaster for Gary Paffett.
So really tentatively feeling that car around the circuit, isn't he? And
yeah.
And there in replay, seeing Whitman go by.
That's Ouattara with the Playboy on his car. This is another replay. Torres in 8th place. What a season Vitoris has been having. Scored points in every single round. And together with, I think, Rockenfeller is the only man to have done that. Here's Rocky. Is he increasing his lead even further? Looks as if he certainly is.
And Farfus now.
Yeah, he's all over Tambe, isn't he now?
Yes, he is. So on board with Farfus then. Head towards the final turn before the start-finish straight here at the Nürburgring. So will Augusto Farfus try and move into turn 1? There is Tombe. Farfus right behind.
And Molina still doing a very good job there. Molina tries to dive down the inside of Farfus. Rockenfeller now 25.6 seconds. He makes a mistake. Off he goes. Well, I was just saying he was 25.6 seconds ahead of Tambe, and now he's less than that. Shows how. Glock has gone on to slicks. Glock in and onto slicks as the track dries, and then you just look up at the sky and hope it's not going to start raining again. We'll watch Glock's time now as he gets stuck in on the slicks. So that Glock driving for the new Ernest Noors run M-Tech team. Dutch-based team. We've got the Belgian team, the German team, the two German teams, and the Dutch team this year running these cars.
Bit twitchy, isn't it, Aziz?
It is, yeah. He's trying to feel it as Tambe there in front of Farfus. Still only 18 laps into the 49. Still a lot of water on our lens.
So Farfus closer to Tombe this time down the start-finish straight than perhaps he was last time. Takes a wide sweep look.
Oh, very nearly lost out on third position there to Molina. Just hanging in there.
So this gaggle here, P2, 3, 4 and 5.
Yeah, and don't discount Wickens, he's in there. And what about Bruno Spengler? In fact, Spengler lapping quickly at the moment. Spengler is one of the fastest men out there. Need another lap to see what the times Glock could do on the slicks.
That in replay, Vitoris then around the final turn.
Well, we saw Rocky have that overshoot, but can check out in a moment what his gap is to Tambay.
And once again, Farfus as Wickens gets past Molina, Andrew. So Rob Wickens, you said don't discount him.
Yeah, the man in the orange car, still water on the lens. Farfus fighting back. Oh, did he just tag him then?
And this is a real gaggle together here, isn't it? Tombay's in the front of that pack. Farfus right on his back bumper into that turn one. Sparks fly off of Farfus's car. Rob Wickens looking really racy as well. Just got past Molina. And is he going to do another one?
Well, despite that overshoot, the...
Look at that, Wickens all the way around the outside, Andrew.
Oh,
this is remarkable.
Terrific,
Whoa.
terrific. Too busy looking at timing screen, Dave, and missing the great action, but you called it. Well, I'm going to tell you that the gap between Rockefeller and Tambay is now 27 seconds.
Oh, that was a drive from Rob Wickens.
Yeah, the former Renault 3.5 champion really found his home now at the DTM. And all these four, it'll all change again though. Here is that move, look at that. Straight down the inside of Molina. Carrying the speed all the way around the outside. There was lots of grip round there. Whoa, that was unbelievable.
Oh.
Yeah, Tambay's going, I never realised there was grip out there.
We didn't see an uncharacteristic jump up and down from Toto Wolff, but he should have done because that was an astounding.
Glock's decision to go on the slicks is not the right one.
Right.
He's wow, 7 or 8 seconds off the fastest guys on the wets.
Well, Robert Wickens then, you said don't discount him. He's now on track in P2.
Yeah.
And of course, whilst all this plays out, Andrew, you've been keeping an eye on that timing screen. Mike Rockefeller, of course, has still got 2 pit stops to make, hasn't he?
He has, but he's almost 27 seconds ahead.
I know,
so
despite that pirouette. That's remarkable.
He'll probably stay in front. It would be interesting to see. I suspect he will stay out longer if he's happy on these tyres and build that even further if he can to make absolutely sure that when he comes out he's still in the lead.
Well, at the moment, last time around, Wickens was quicker than Rockefeller.
Yeah, by a fraction. Might indicate the Rockefeller tyres are just starting to go off a bit. I don't see many dry patches around here. Still pretty wet circuit. So look at Farfus now. Farfus and the Frenchman, wheel to wheel as Farfus finds a way through, and then Molina from Spain tries to go past the Frenchman and succeeds. Brazil, Spain, France. Meanwhile, Canada, in the form of Rob Wickens, has pulled away a little bit, and all the time Spengler is still there.
And Molina are now on Farfus. Just got his nose up the inside of Farfus there, and is he going to continue this around the final turn? They're onto the start-finish straight now, and they're absolutely together here. Augusto Farfus and Molina.
And Wickens has been released, and he's starting to motor away from them, as you can see. As Molina just has a little look down the inside and then tries to take the inside line from Farfus, and then wheel to wheel again. And Farfus still got the advantage.
And Tambay is fighting back as well.
Ekstrom still in 10th place.
On board with Vitoris, who's right on the back of Bruno Spengler now.
Rockefeller lead has stabilised a little bit at the 27-second mark. Spengler and Vitoris 6th and 7th.
And Vitoris going for a dive there off of the chicane on the inside line. And, well, leaving Bruno Spengler behind. Bruno will try and fight back as they head down, but, well, Vitoris showing him a clean pair of heels here. We're on board with Bruno Spengler.
Glock, of course, has got his 2 pit stops in, but it's not coming back to him yet. Still the only man that's lapping over 1:40, 1 minute 40. Whitman pretty quick out there at the moment, but he's down in 13th. Farfus. What a terrific battle here for 3rd place.
Well, we haven't seen him for a little while, but there he is, Mike Rockefeller. Still staying out there, Andrew. Obviously comfortable with that car, isn't he?
Yeah, but Wickens is starting to close in on him a little bit. We just got our clock going on the difference. Last lap it's 26.675 and now it's 26.475, so a fifth of a second taken off the lead. Still looking good for Rockefeller though.
Yes.
Particularly as far as the points are concerned, he pull away a bit more from Spengler.
Well, Vitoris on a charge now.
Yeah, he is.
Disposed of Spengler. Now Tombe.
Tombe, as you say, going back a place. And that was the move. It gets a round of applause. And Vitoris now in 5th place. And the best of the Mercedes. Vitoris in 4th place in the championship. Oh, and Glock sliding on those slicks. And struggling with that decision now. But at least he can stay on them to the end of the race.
And still Rocky stays out, Andrew.
Plumes of spray we see before we see the car. The Schaeffler company who back it. Car prepared just the other side of the road from the pits here. Well, a kilometre down the road in the industrial estate there. Car 22 under investigation. Timo Glock. I'm sure he can't be under investigation for twitching, which is what he was doing on those slicks. I think something to do with the blue flag. Couple of BMWs, Spengler and Tomczyk running together. Tomczyk in 8th place. Remember Martin Tomczyk. It was the penalty. Are going too wide. Tomczyk, no points this season. Former champion from just 2 years ago when he was with Audi. So Glock gets a lap time penalty of 1 second. They say it's had an advantage in turn 12 by doing that. There is Spengler, that bit of carbon flew off.
I was taking my turn at the timing screen. Last time around, Rocky 135.965. Wickens 135.872. Just bettered that as he crossed the start-finish line. 3.5 tenths quicker Wickens than Rockenfeller at the moment, Andrew.
And now we can see a dry line emerging. So this race is far from done. Could have some more twists and turns yet. Spengler closing in on Tambay. Jamie Green lost a bit of signage off the front of the car, advertising for the German post office. And Molina under pressure from Vitoris for 4th place. Rockenfeller leads from Wickens and Farfus. Well, Molina, where had he been?
Well, it was quite an excursion, wasn't it?
It was. But he didn't get an advantage from that. I'd like to see that again. We saw him coming back on again, didn't we? Obviously missed his braking. Here we are. Oh, straight on. Thinks he's on the Grand Prix circuit. Where do I go now? I would like to see the rest of that. Oh, there he is. We're going to get it. Look, I'm all the way down here.
It got
I'm on the
down.
Grand Prix track now, or the Grand Prix loop.
So Rockenfeller, Wickens, Farfus, Vitoris, Tambay, Spengler.
That cost Molina a lot of time.
Yes.
So Edo Mortara comes in. 3.7 seconds. Just at half distance. Tara has gone onto the slicks, and just seeing Glock's last lap still was like 3 or 4 seconds off the pace of the people on the wets. So that's quite a brave decision by Mortara.
You said there that we can see a dry line developing.
Oh dear, look at problems there for Spengler. See the telltale blue smoke coming out the back of the car. Some of that bodywork now is rubbing against the tyre. You see it, Dave? We're still going for it.
And Edo Mortara under investigation now, Andrew.
Yeah, easy to clip that line here. It's a long, long white line at the end. Look at that smoke.
Yeah. No, that's the first time I've seen that.
Well, they should pull him in and do the tyre change and pull that bit of bodywork off.
Just being told Glock under investigation again.
Again. Timo's going to wish he's back in Formula 1, I think. On board with Spengler. I may not know that body. It's only touching at certain points of the track. So you don't know blue smoke there. Something that got dislodged, the sort of inner lining of the wheel arch. All carbon parts, of course. And there he goes through Tambay. And Spengler up to 5th. Tambay takes the inside line again. Wheel to wheel here at DTM. There was a little kiss there. Oh, and definitely a nudge there of Tambay. And
both of them go off.
Yeah.
Now,
Spengler said he was going to be aggressive. He certainly is being aggressive. Meanwhile, at the front, the gap just stabilised at that 26 seconds between Rockenfeller. Let's have a look at this. There, he did touch him then.
Yep.
And then he gave him a little shove up the boot as well, just for good measure. But that was the first touch, and now, come on, mate, you're going through here too quickly, or too slowly. But that unnerved the car. You have to do that run across the grass.
And there we can see it again.
Mortara's got away with that possible coming out of the pits, and
well, both Spengler and Tambay under investigation now.
They're busy boys, these stewards, aren't they?
Yes, they are a bit.
In the second half of this DTM race here, round 7. Rounds to go still at Oschersleben. Of course, Zandvoort before that, and finally at Hockenheim. Right, Rockenfeller has made one pit stop, but it didn't count. There's Tambay and Tomczyk. Tomczyk in 7th. Martin Tomczyk having his best race of the season.
So last time, Rocky just marginally quicker than Wickens. So obviously those tyres still working, Andrew.
Yeah, still doing well. Here's Spengler still...
resumption of that battle, isn't it?
Yeah. Down to that difficult right-hander, so hard to pick your apex there as you come down the hill. Got to get right across them for this long left-hander. Tomczyk comes out of the pits. Jamie Green out of the pits.
Spengler on Tambay again.
And now Glock is lapping at pretty well the same time as the people on the wets. So just at that crossover point now.
So just been informed that Spengler is going to get a lap time penalty of 1 second for leaving the track, and advantage at turn 12.
Tambay's been racing in close proximity all the race, hasn't he? Oh, he takes a shortcut and then heads into the pits. Albuquerque as well. See, what's that crossover point now, everybody? Oh, Juncadella in the gravel. Beaches it. Yellow flag race control. Tambay in Albuquerque. And then Molina, all the Audis taking the decision. Ekstrom in. Right, stampede down this pit lane. What about Rocky? When's he finally going to break for the border? On board with Ekstrom. Localised yellow. 19 laps to go. Rockenfeller still 2 pit stops to make. His gap between him and Wickens. In he comes. Now we're going to see when he comes out where he is relative to Wickens. Watch for the orange car. There it is, down in the chicane at the moment. Drive-through penalty for Timo Glock.
Wickens is in as well.
Wickens is in as well. So out goes Rocky, but so we can't really see relative because now Wickens, of course, he's got his 2 stops. So be interested to see what the gap is. Is Farfus still in a podium position here. Wickens stops, he definitely onto the slicks. And Wickens coming out. And out in front of Spengler. Whitman makes a stop. Wehrlein makes a stop. Wehrlein gets out before Whitman. And they're going to filter out into a lot of traffic. Right behind Eki. There's Albuquerque. Albuquerque takes a very long route round to... Let's see, Eki stop. Ooh, that was close. Oh, did they touch? Look at this. Don't think he touched him.
No.
This is how Danny, the rear end broke away. Off he sailed. And a great run of DTM races recently for him comes to an end in the gravel as Farfus makes his stop here.
Timo Glock there serving his drive-through penalty.
Yep, Farfus coming back out. It's all happening. Torres, he's going to get a pretty good result out of all this, I think. Green, the fastest man on the track at the moment, down there in 13th place. Spengler stops, just checks his belts. And Spengler going to come right out into this traffic, and Tomczyk in front of Spengler. And oh dear, Tarnbate going for another run around the outside. Oh, so many cars close together. And Wehrlein has a look down the inside. Now Farfus under investigation. Look, that white line coming out of the pits. Well, a couple of people have got away with it. I'd like to see him exiting. So we're pretty well on the options now, other than Mary, and the lap time still well 9 seconds slower. Still that puff of smoke you see from Spengler's car. Just worried it might cut the tyre. Look at that lot, all nose to tail.
So no further no further action on Augusto Farfus.
That team will breathe a sigh of relief.
And now, Andrew, look, I'm looking at the timing screen. Here's a replay.
Yeah, well, what that's... Eki muscling his way past Molina. Look, I've been at this team 10 years, mate. Get out of my way.
Now, just back to what I was saying, there is Rocky, whose gap now to Wickens in second place is 21.1.
Yeah. So Wickens has just been closing on Rocky, and this is looking very, very good for Rob Wickens. He was briefly the winner of the Nürburgring race until that decision was overturned by the DSMB motorsport authorities in Germany after the Ekstrom disqualification. But now this is looking so good for Rob Wickens. There's no way that Rocky can get in and out in 21 seconds and stay in front of Wickens, but where's he going to come out relative to the others? Mind you, oh, Gary Paffett Disastrous race for him. He's got his 3 boys here, because they're on holiday at the moment, all cheering. Wife Lisa, all family here, and probably won't be a very nice daddy tonight. Wow. We'll be a bit frustrated with this.
So now look down to 19.6 seconds between Rocky and Wickens.
Yeah, and I think Rocky's going to fall to, I think 3rd place. Comes in now. More nerfing going on. Spengler still being mega aggressive, the French Canadian. And look at Ekstrom attacking, going all the way around the outside. Oh, and he gets nudged off by Bruno Spengler, because Spengler was nudged in turn, and it's all happening here. Oh. And poor Ekstrom, he suddenly finds himself 3 places back. Goodness me. That was all looking pretty rude, wasn't it?
Well, just for a moment, I wondered where I was.
Look at that, 6 or 7 DTM cars. The 14 laps to go, all on the same piece of track. And there's Eki again. And he's got his teammates already. Got Jamie Green there, the 2 Red Bull cars together. And you've got Albuquerque getting in the mix. Could have a great. We've got 4 rings of Audi. We might have 4 Audis all in a heat the way we're going on, or certainly 3.
Well, we're on board with Ekstrom then into the chicane. The front of
yeah, they want to try and get all those past Spengler and Wickens all the time. Clicking away at that Rockefeller lead. I don't know why Rocky doesn't come in now.
So there, look at that, Andrew. That tells the story, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Cannot understand why they don't bring Rocky in. And, Farfus far from giving up, hasn't he? Started from the pole position. He's right there on the tail of Wickens. And certainly lapping quicker than Wickens. Farfus is very quick out there at the moment. It's the quickest man on the racetrack.
Verline was hung out to dry there. Well, Verline actually went around.
Yeah. Verline, just a teenager. This then is the battle for the lead in effect.
See, Rocky Andrew 127, 127. Wickens 125, 960.
Yeah.
Big difference, isn't it? I mean, what is, you're absolutely right that, I'm surprised the team haven't.
The only thing I can think of, they see something on the weather, thinking, well, it suddenly pours again, we can whack the rain tyres back on. Otherwise, I can't understand why they're not stopping now. Give them at least a nice fresh set. But of course, Rocky would have to go onto the regular tyre, onto the standard tyre.
So there is Robert Wickens. As you say, Farfus is within sight of him now, isn't he? So Rocky leading from Wickens, Farfus, Vitoris. Rocky, though, with one more pit stop absolutely to make.
Fastest lap to Vitoris, who's now challenging Glock. In fact, going to lap him.
Yep. Doesn't need to be held up by Glock here, does he? Glock down there in P18, so Vitoris needs to dispose of him as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I've got to say that Whitman's done a very good job after that spin and brush with the barrier. Recovered brilliantly to move back up to 7th. Martin Tomczyk there, running in 5th place. He'll be very pleased with that after the appalling season he's had. And Molina, another man not in the points. Albuquerque hasn't scored any points this season. He might just get the odd one. There's Prio. Prio chasing Rocky, lap down. And Prio running in 16th place.
Still Rocky not in.
All cars flying past Bruno Spengler. On board with the man who lives in the Alsace region. Oh, damage to the Red Bull car. Did you see that? Bonnet up on the green car. What is that on the front of the green car?
Looks like the sort of grill type affair, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, Spengler taking a bit of a swipe there.
Yeah, Spengler taking a swipe from Albuquerque.
Whoa!
That's it. Look at his eyes. Spengler came right off the throttle. Yeah, something that's peeled back, isn't it? Probably not hampering him too much. He might just have it in his vision though. Wondering what it is. Radio back to the pits. Rockefeller, Wickens and Farfus the top three. And Rockefeller now I think will drop back to 4th place when he makes his pit stop. Still going to increase his lead in the championship though. Lap times now, Dave, right down on the sort of qualifying level. Rocky just done a 24.5 and Wickens 24.251. Trying all the time now. 10 laps to go here in this 7th round of the DTM. 3 more to go. Clearly see what happened now to the green car. The green having a pretty strong race. There's Rockefeller staying out. Maybe he's taking the decision that these worn options are quicker than the fresh set of the regular standard tyre. It goes past pit entrance again.
But of course, with 10 laps left to run, Andrew, he's got to run them, hasn't he?
Yeah.
At some point, though, as you say, if he's getting better performance out of these, he'll stick with it.
Now, if he comes in, he's going to drop to 4th.
Yep.
And there's a big gap between Vitoris and Tomczyk, so he'll drop into that spot between Vitoris and Tomczyk into 4th place. And somebody will be number crunching at the back of the Phoenix garage.
Yeah.
And I reckon he can just, it's a safer bet, I suppose. Wickens continues on his way. Gareth Paffett there a lap behind. Didn't expect to see that. Disastrous call, tyre call for that team. Here's Phoenix Racing. Ready? Oh, still three abreast here. Ekstrom and Green and Albuquerque and goodness me.
Albuquerque looking up the inside there.
Well, these lot are allowed to race. Ekstrom's got no chance of the championship, as finally Rockefeller does come in for this final set of tyres. Right at the end of the pits here. There we are, poised and ready.
Good stop, doesn't it?
fresh set to go on, and 3.9 seconds.
So there is Vitoris.
Yeah, and he's going to come out just behind Vitoris, in front of Glock, who's a lap down. And now he can set about having a go at Vitoris in his final 8 laps. Should have the rubber to do it on fresh tyres, and Glock's gone around the outside of him as Rocky just gets the tyres up to temperature. And remember, Glock a lap down. So Wickens then into the lead. Farfus seconds, Vitoris third. Here's that pit stop. Still quite damp in the pit lane.
Yeah.
You see puddles there. So here is finally our new leader. Still being hounded by Farfus, man from Curitiba in Brazil. We've got a racetrack there.
So Wickens got a 2.4 second advantage, Andrew. And what have we got? 7 laps left to run.
Yep. Wickens just trifle quicker as well. There's Ernst Moser from Phoenix Racing, the boss, talking to Rocky.
So there, Vitoris. And there, Mike Rockefeller then P4.
Ekstrom out of the points.
When we turn our minds back to the beginning of this race, Andrew, did we think we'd see Rockefeller in P4? Certainly not.
No, going flying off at the first corner. Here Wickens goes very wide there. And Paffett now suddenly found some speed, but all too late. Toto Wolff, boss of Mercedes racing division these days, formerly a director at Williams Grand Prix, of course an amateur racing driver. Some quite good results in GT racing in the past in Toto Wolff. See, Paffett's got the speed now, but 17th place.
So changed from laps to the clock at the top of his screen now. 4 minutes remaining, Andrew. 4 minutes remaining.
And Rob Wickens, I think, has got this pretty well sewn up. There's Farfus on his own now, because Vitoris is 8 seconds down the road.
So there is Rob Wickens, there is P2, Augusto Farfus, and you're absolutely right, Andrew. Paffett has got the pace now, hasn't he?
Yeah, too late.
It is really rather too late. Paffett down there in P17.
Spengler in 14th.
I know.
The man who's second in the championship is not going to get any points unless there's something
And there
terrible
is
happens.
Rockefeller P4, which is with Spengler in the position he's in. Really worked for Rocky, hasn't it, in terms of the points?
Yeah, he'll get another 12, so increase that lead over Spengler. Paffett's not going to score. Vitoris will in 4th place to score, and Farfus. But this is going to be so good for Rockefeller. Bad qualifying.
Yep.
Terrible start to the race with the spin. It'll all come back to him. clever thinking though at Phoenix Racing. Still not sure why they left him out quite so long, but they did.
So we see there P56, Tomczyk and Tombe. Good showing from Tomczyk, Andrew.
Well, he's just had the most fearful season. Last year, of course, switched to BMW and very nearly won on a couple of occasions, had some very good runs, as would befit the then reigning champion. This year, just been terrible. I mean, just look at his results. 13th, didn't finish, 19th, didn't finish, 17th. That's his results this season. We've seen him stomping down the pit lane a few times, but it's all come good this time. It's going to do his confidence a lot of good. Christian Vittoris then, in third place. Being on the podium again. Going to be his fourth third place of the year, I think, on my reckoning, assuming that we tick off these remaining 94, 93 seconds.
Yes.
Pavic getting wide there. Still Jamie Green. Got Fairline all over him for battling over a point. Well, a race with a lot of twists and turns. Rob Wickens thought briefly he was the winner 2 rounds ago at the Nürburgring. Had a terrible race in Moscow, and all of a sudden he's driven superbly here. And Rob Wickens comes from a little town just about 50 kilometres away from Toronto. Looks as if he is going to score his first DTM victory, and a bit of damage to the right front of the car. But Farfus still pounding away behind him. It's only 2 seconds, only one little overshoot from Wickens. And it can all go pear-shaped here. And is he going to come to the line before the clock runs out and have to do another lap?
No, surely not. No, this is the last lap. So Robert Wickens then, with that remarkable outside move earlier on in the race.
Yeah, that if we had a prize for the move of the race, that was it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they do in some series, I believe. But here comes Rob.
As you say, he's only got to put 1 foot wrong, hasn't he? And Farfus is going to be there, but Robert Wickens has not done so. So he heads up to the chicane now.
It's going to be a very good result for Mercedes with Vittoris in third. And look at Farfus, you see him in his mirror, but here he comes round the last right-hander, passes the Dorint Hotel, where maybe he'll be celebrating tonight as he takes the checkered flag. And we have another Canadian victory here in the DTM. Well, we've had plenty in the past with Bruno Spenga, but this is the first victory for Robert Wickens, the first time he has seen the checkered flag, and what a season that Canadian is having, and he takes the victory by 2 seconds from Augusto Farfus of Brazil. And then Mike Rockenfeller comes home fourth to increase his lead at the top of the DTM Championship table, and Martin Tomczyk finally gets some points, and Adrian Tambe trying to get past him in the run to the line but didn't quite make it. And then it's Marco Whitman, and then it's Molina. And the high-fiving goes on here. Wickens, Farfus, Vittoris, Rockenfeller, Tomczyk, Tambe, Whitman, Molina, Green and Verline. Albuquerque still not broken his duck, no points this season. Although 11th is his best result. And there, Bruno Spengler, second disastrous race in a row. And Spengler attacked by various people, wasn't he, along the way?
Well, he certainly, certainly plenty of contact, wasn't there? So Robert Wickens then.
And already we can go down at a 1-3 for Mercedes-Benz. Toto Wolff would be a happy man.
Toto, that was a crazy race. I think the Nürburgring played all for you with this crazy weather. Actually, it's a second win of a Canadian here and a Mercedes win. Did you thought of this before the race?
Yeah, obviously the weather was very crazy, but I think Robert drove a brilliant race, as did Christian. We were a bit unlucky with the strategy with Gary, but you know, the Nürburgring showed its character, and I'm very happy. We are 1-3. What a result!
Congratulations! I go to the drivers. Have a lot of fun and a big celebration. Back to you guys.
Yep. Well, he made a mistake with the call on Gary. There's Toto Wolff. The engineers. There's the checkered flag. So Rob Wickens, it is, puts his name into the records books as a DTM winner. And a strange situation at the Nürburgring where he was promoted to first and then demoted back to second, and that was a race with no winner. If you can get your head around that. But no doubt about it this time. And Rob Wickens, there's Susie Wolff embracing Toto. Let's see how this man celebrates. The other Canadian celebrates by throwing himself onto the bonnet of the car. He won't be doing that today. Oh, second mistake. I love the way that Farfus, such an outgoing personality, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Wickens finally emerges. Lots of whooping going on. Yeah. Well, been a while since Robert. Been 2 years since Robert won a race. He's winning, of course, in this season when he was champion in Renault 3.5. Hasn't won since.
Well, what a spectacular race here at the Nürburgring, and here confirmation of the result then. Robert Wickens takes the win from Augusto Farfus. Christian Vittoris, Mike Rockenfeller, Martin Tomczyk, Adrian Tombe, P6, then Marco Wittmann, P7, Miguel Molina, P8, Jamie Green, 9, Pascal Verline, P10, and Albuquerque then P11 with Mortara, Ekstrom, Spengler, Werner, Prio, Paffett down there, P17, Glock, Merry, Junkerdella, Scheider, and of course Junkerdella, Scheider and Hand we saw out. So there we have it then. What a race. Extremely entertaining, and there still collecting the congratulations from all around is Robert Wickens. What a fantastic race for Robert Wickens. And there's Christian Vittoris. And good show there of Vittoris.
He's been so consistent, hasn't he, this season?
Yes. And Augusto Farfus, as you said. And with Eve right now is a very happy Christian Vittoris.
Christian, congratulations at your home run. You are P3, so will it be a big celebration today?
Yeah, I think so. It was nearly a perfect weekend now. Rocky's behind me, Spengler I think didn't score. So I'm P2 in the championship now, so it's a really positive weekend. The race was just crazy. Starting on prime tires on wet conditions was really hard actually to stay on track, but then we changed to wet tires, which was the right call, and then it was just a great race.
And the Mercedes, they were incredible fast when it's getting drier because of the setup, or what was the reason?
Well, maybe it's now too early to analyze what the reason was for our good pace, but we just have to say that the car was very good to drive, very consistent, as you said, under those tricky conditions, and yeah, perfect weekend.
Wow, it's a good feeling to be the spearhead of Mercedes, huh?
Absolutely.
Have a big celebration. Back to you guys.
Thanks very much. And yeah, there's the celebrations going on. Haven't seen Robert with his crash helmet off yet. And there the schloss which presides over it all and tells us the championship points. And well, Rocky there still with a very handy 35-point lead over Christian Vittoris. Rob Wickens, and we can hear from Rob now. A happy Canadian.
A happy Canadian. Bruno took the win last year here as a Canadian. Now it's your turn for a big, big celebration. How does it feel?
Honestly, I don't know. It's an amazing feeling. To be honest, starting 7th, and I didn't really know what to expect. And when the rain came, everything just got crazy, and it was, a very, very panicful race. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know, what my lap times were, and luckily I was able to overtake the 3 cars in front of me and get some clean space, and I think that was very important for my race.
What a crazy Nürburgring, isn't it?
I think it always is.
Have a good time on the podium. Enjoy the moment. Thanks, Robert. Back to you.
So Robert Wickens there, and just before that we were looking at the points chart, and the big loser there, Spengler, going down 2 places in the Drivers' Championship, Andrew.
Yeah, Wickens moving up to 3rd. There's Farfus. You think he'd won? Well, it was hugely entertaining motor racing. Great stuff, wasn't it?
Yes. Yes, it wasn't without incident, was it? So they're
right from the first corner. Well, the winners: Wickens, Farfus, Rocky as well, Vitoris, and the losers definitely people like Pappet, the main one. Joey Hand getting into the gravel right at the beginning. Mercedes-Benz flags flying. The national anthem will be sung in just a moment. Oh Canada. People already filtering away from the grandstands. Crowd of almost 90,000 today. Boys coming up the steps. Number 1, good feeling for Rob Wickens. So we look down on that main control building there, big press room along the front, and all the various offices, race control and so on, hospitality suites. Jaguar got a big hospitality suite up there. It would be nice to see them at the DTM one day, wouldn't it?
Oh, wouldn't it just? Wouldn't it just?
Yeah, when it's the right sort of brand for the DTM.
So a great shot then into the podium to come in just a few moments, I guess. We saw the drivers coming up the stairs there, didn't we? And there below, the teams all waiting for those podium celebrations to get underway.
Yeah, well, as the Americans say, the weather threw a curveball.
Yes, didn't it just?
Yeah, and well, we can understand that, although he's probably more an ice hockey fan coming from Canada. So just waiting for these magical moments up on the podium. There's discussions down there. Stefan the voice gets ready to be the MC for the podium ceremony. And discussions there between Jens Marquardt and Toto Wolff. Now we're about ready to go up there. Oh, he's already. They've got the bottles of Bitburger out. I recognise that bottle. It's a local. It's a local beer from just about 15 miles away from here. As we get ready to crown a new race winner in Rob Wickens, and there he is. Doesn't leap in the air, but he is so happy. Second year in the DTM, he's got the golden bottle for the first time, and Rob Wickens is the winner here today. And Farfus, he's happy to be on the podium. Christian Vitoris, not victorious, but in 3rd place. Christian Vitoris, 2 Mercs and a BMW in a crazy race. And then they'll be joined by Michael Kuna, the head of electronics for HWA. There he is. Certainly hitting the high notes there, and a high note in Rob Wickens' career, his first DTM victory, and I would suggest not the last, Dave Richardson.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Fine drive indeed. So there he holds the trophy aloft, absolutely delighted, and rightly so.
Yeah, that's ahead of electronics for AMG. Michael Kuna, nice to have him up on the podium. Well, that man is the horizontal bar silver medalist from the Olympic Games, Fabian Hamburgchen. And I think this is Johann Leifer, the Austrian star cutter. I was going to say he was the Jamie Oliver, but he doesn't. Of Germany, it didn't quite look like it.
No.
He was more the Rick Stein, I think. So the trophies are handed out.
So they all move in for the photographs, and then, well, I think Robert Wickens will win the race to the bubbly as well, Andrew.
Yeah, I think he will. Rob Wickens comes from a place called Guelph, which is, I say, somewhere outside Toronto.
Well, not at all. He's keeping it for himself, Andrew.
Yeah.
A good slug of that. Fair play.
Well, nobody's going to pour a bottle of water down his race suit into the pocket because he hasn't got his pockets on it.
Sewn them up. Oh, dear.
Yeah, so in his second season, coming into this year, his best result was 7th in the championship. A man that came through American Formula BMW. He discovered him. Won the American Championship in 2006. Moved into Formula Atlantic after racing the A1 GP Series in 07. Formula Renault 3.5.
Well, your head of electronics man has got a new hairstyle now.
It has, yeah. Back in 2010, Rob was racing in the GP3 Series. He was runner-up in that. Races himself in Stuttgart at the moment. There the maple leaf flag of Canada flies high. We've seen it plenty of times before in the DTM, but not with this driver. And now we can go down to Eve, who's going to be with Augusto Farfus, who's going to give her a great interview as ever.
Just changing the cap and giving the trophy to his engineer, Augusto. I got some of your champagne, so how was it to be back on the podium? You had some races actually at, I think it was at Nürburgring and Brands Hatch, where wasn't so good, but Moscow you got a lot of tailwind with the P3, and now it's P2.
Yeah, well, it's always good to be on podium. Of course, we start from pole and we expect something more. But with this weather condition, it's always a lottery. So I'm very happy to be P2. I think the rain stint was not so quick, so that cost us the race. Nevertheless, I think it's always good to be on podium again. Great feeling. We are back on the road. Good points. So let's look forward now. I think it's a good result, and was just. We missed that much for the victory.
I think you're now P4 in the standings. Actually, I've seen your family. Will we see you now on the Nordschleife to have a big celebration with your wife and your children?
Yeah, well, I don't know if she would like to come, but yeah, why not? I mean, Nordschleife, it's the best circuit in the planet. It's always great to be there, but this time I would just take my flight and fly back to Brazil.
Okay, have a good time. Congratulations, Gustl, and back to you guys.
Yeah, and back to Curitiba because he's won that Nürburgring 24 hours in the past for BMW. And don't forget, I should say, the interview he did after winning the opening race of the season, where our famous man Ricky asked him, "Well, you're going to have." He always asks people about the celebrations because I think he wants to join in. And he said, "Oh no, I'm a family man. I'm just gonna. You're a Brazilian, so you're gonna have a great celebration and lots of beer." "Oh no, I'm not. I'm just gonna go quietly and have dinner with my wife." Ricky was a bit deflated by that.
Well, here's some of the images then from that race, Andrew, and well,
there's Rocky going off right on that first corner, and Joey Hand involved in that. Here was the start. Farfus, of course, with the pole position, podium and pole this weekend. But such challenging conditions, and of course the rain coming down just at the start. Lots of nerfing going on. Rocky picked it up pretty quickly, didn't he?
Yeah,
And
he did.
spun it round. Mortara knocked around a bit like a pinball then. Here's the start with Rocky. See what Joey Hand does there. I'll go away from the shot. Yeah, the rear end of Hand's BMW just broke away, and it just tapped Rockenfeller. Some of the action from Ekstrom's car. What a great race for Eki today. Round he went. And climbed away, not even a lap in the book. Torres saw all this happen in front of him. And Mortara in the wars. Glock went spinning round. And Gadea just missed him. There's Glock returning to the racetrack. Rotated there by the Spaniard. That's what Vittoris saw. Yeah, Juncadella clearly into Glock's side there. And this is Wickens. Phenomenal move he had all around the outside. Definitely the move of the race. Tambay was in the heat of the action for quite a while. Finally picked up the 6th place. Wilkinson going past Molina. Molina picking up 3 points today. Farfus and Tambay there. That's the incredible Wickens move. Definitely superb driving. Then problems to Spengler's car and that bit of bodywork that rubbed against the tyre that gave us a bit of a worry for a while. But ultimately, Spengler making the finish, but only in 14th place. Spengler pushing Tambay. They both went through chicane in a rather unconventional manner. All this time Rockenfeller, remember, was leading the race, having got onto the wet weather tyres early but out of the pit window, so he made 3 pit stops to the others making 2. There's that move again. Here's Martin Tomczyk with Albuquerque right on his rear quarter. Spengler tapping Tambay. Tambay managing to hold on to it, fighting, and then he got a little bump up the rear, and Spengler, unnerved, went across the grass. Just so full of incident, this race. That's it from another angle. there was Spengler giving Tambay a bit of a crunch. Ekström and Wehrlein getting involved with that. And then the checker flag finally coming down on Rob Wickens. Drove supremely well today, Rob. The Rockefeller gamble didn't quite work, but it still got him enough points to put him further away at the top of the championship table. And the press conference coming up in just a few moments, so we'll go down there to Ricky with more quotes from the drivers.
Now we start the press conference of the 7th round, which was a very entertaining one at the Nürburgring racetrack. We have the top 4, which are representing as